this from a corner. And Knowles, nice job to find him on the slant. Knowles still on his feet and in for the score.
Overty to the right here.
Wojak gets to the corner and in. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Ken Duke Stadium here on campus of Medina High School, where tonight we have another in-county rivalry. Brunswick comes to town, and this now known as the Tom Fasco Gridiron Classic, year 3 of that. And we've got a great matchup here tonight between two teams that always play great games against each other.
Absolutely, and you know, it was the same mentality when we played Wadsworth. Anything in county can go either way. You know, we've seen over the years these county games end in a lot of exciting ways. They're never over till the end. And you know, Medina coming off a week where they had a big lead. They scored 41 points by the fourth quarter, and you know, a little bit of disappointment there. You know, gave up some points. Great play by Menor. Wound up getting the lead to go ahead 42-41. Medina tries to drive at the end, and what I take from it is you look at a team like Medina, and if you go back through the history and the evolution of the program, it would be, the mentality tonight would be, we really hung with Menor. But the mentality now, you know, you step over that, the mentality now is, we're disappointed we didn't beat Menor. And so when you got, I mean, I know that you're disappointed in everything, but look how far the program has come in the last few years, where you're not just happy to hang with a team, you had the team beat, and the expectation is to win that. And I think Medina's going to come out here today with an you know, all business attitude against a Brunswick team who is not a real you know, 0-4 as you know, we discussed.
Yeah, definitely coming off. They started the season against Avon. They've had Olmsted Falls, Highland, who's undefeated this year, and then a tough game last week against Cleveland Heights, losing 13-10. A team which I guess we're subtly rooting for here tonight, as Cleveland Heights is playing Menor this evening to get that open spot back in that conference. Tough to say your first game of conference play was basically for the conference title, but that's the way it's kind of shaken out the last 3 seasons here. So a tough one for Medina to lose last week. Interesting to see how that intensity comes out this week in practice and how it comes out on the field. Sometimes you lose a tough one like that, the attitude can go the other way, and it could put you dig you in a hole real quick for Brunswick if they can come out and get on you quick.
Right, and I think, you know, and it could happen, but I would think with these guys and their expectation and what their goals are, you know, it's always be best at the next thing you do. And here we are against Brunswick, and you know, Brunswick is hungry for a win also. We can't forget that. And you know, you have tonight being the Coach Fasco Classic, which is you know, emotion on both sides. Is Coach Fasco was a great head coach for both teams. Took the Brunswick Blue Devils to the state championship. I believe that might have been '95. I could be wrong there. And so came over to Medina, had a lot of good seasons. And so, you know, meant a lot to both programs, and was an excellent coach. And it couldn't be a better night for a Coach Fasco Classic, as you have a sea of blue over here and a sea of green over here, and a lot of neon over there in the Swarm. So,
well, not only the Swarm, but in the Brunswick section, someone didn't. Their schools didn't coordinate well enough. They both have the same scheme going on here tonight.
Maybe they did coordinate. Maybe they wanted the same scheme.
In honor of the Tom Fasco
Yes, maybe
Classic,
they wanted to, you know, and wanted to do something special like that. So, but just a beautiful night for it, a big crowd, and you know, going back in history again, you can go all the way back to the 90s, and you can work your way up. And if you put all these games together, you start seeing that, you know, it really didn't matter so much what the record was. It's just, you know, the team that came with the emotion that night, and so should be a great one.
I saw we just saw on our camera shot there. It's the neon, but it's also the construction kind of tied in with that. So be interesting to see the look there from both of the teams as we go through the night. And I wonder who shows up first and says, "Oh crap, we're dressed the same way," because usually you try to do something different than the other school. But tonight, both in the neon and the construction. So great to see, like you said, a good turnout, though. You just love to see the fans filled in the stands. Student section full over there, as well as the Swarm. There's a good shot. There's the Brunswick side. They're giving a cheer as their team reaches the field.
Brunswick wearing all white on white tonight. Have the very clean look, and here come the Blue Devils.
So like I said, Brunswick just struggling. They lost to Avon 49-7, Olmsted Falls 33-21, Highland 35-14, and then that tough loss last week to Cleveland Heights 13-10. So coming in 0-4, 0-1 in the conference. Medina waiting to come out on the field next. They'll come into this one 2-2, 0-1 overall in the conference. Their victory in the conference against Stowe, losses to Olentangy, a win against Wadsworth 40-23, and then that tough one against Menor that made them 0-1. I apologize, I'm used to Stowe being in the conference. I meant Menor in the conference, made it 42-41 for that tough loss last week, allowing that late touchdown with about 1:30 to go in the game. Ended up being the difference in that one.
And here come the Bees, taking a stop at the Swarm right now to get things underway and organized.
Always love to see them kind of get in there, huddle up right there by the Swarm. And it will be great to see the offense come out. What they can do, a great week last week. Stoddard, 348 yards passing. They go with 110 on the ground. Knowles, 112 yards receiving. Wojak, 153 yards receiving, along with 28 rushing yards. And then the play of Cooper Josephsik, 11 total tackles, 9 assists, and 2 tackles for loss. Just an incredible game by him.
Yeah, Cooper Josephsik, an absolute beast. And if your front four can keep guys off your linebacker, pick up a double team, that allows Cooper some space to make those tackles.
And Medina won the opening, won the coin flip. They chose to receive, but they're going to be heading straight into the sun. And you and I both talked about walking up to the press box, the angle of that sun right now, which it's already changed dramatically since we've come up to the booth. But it's going to be tough for Stoddard looking downfield early on.
Well, and it's either tough for Stoddard or tough for the receivers. And it would be about the first hour here of this game is going to be a bear. I don't think I've ever walked up the bleachers here in all the years and seen the sun that bright coming right into eye level. It would either be eye level of the quarterback or it's going to be eye level of the receivers looking back.
It looks like now looking at the field, once you get to midfield, that looks like it might diminish some, but definitely anything on our own end of the field here in this first quarter is going to be difficult.
And it's reflecting right off of all those neon colors down in the Swarm. So it should be neon color every week. And if I had to manage the game and I had to watch the kid, at least I would know where everybody was.
Keep a better eye on them as it gets darker. So again, Medina with the first possession will kick off for the third annual Tom Fasco Gridiron Classic here tonight. It's Brunswick Medina here on Medina TV. Glad you're tuning in and watching on our Facebook and YouTube feeds, as well as on Medina TV, channel 201.
Brunswick elects to keep it on the ground, a little squib kick.
Fielded, taken up to about the 30-yard line where the Bees will start 1st and 10. That ball grabbed, I believe, by 29, Aiden Dillon, that came down with that one.
So it'll be 1st and 10, and Medina will be the first one to deal with the sun. They're right on the edge of the shadow here, which will make things a little bit interesting for Stoddard as he's looking right into the sun. Shouldn't be a problem for the receivers.
Brunswick, as we've seen all season, a lot of teams just throwing that three-man front at Medina and then keeping 8 back in coverage. Or one will be an assigned linebacker to shadow Stoddard. A hard count. Coach Laird goes through the audibles, hand signals into Stoddard. Stoddard resets it with the offense.
And
takes a snap, looks to his left, nothing going, still trying to buy time. The linebacker rolled in on him now. He's just trying to outrun people, get some blocking coverage, and finds a man wide open downfield and hits Dylan Whitehill.
What a great scramble, Joe, right there for Danny Stoddard, allowing Whitehill to get open. And if you think about it, everybody every week now wants to send 3 guys. If you could put pressure with 3 guys and you could drop 8 in the coverage, that's been kind of the key. But if you give somebody that much time, you can't cover for that long.
Gave him a first down. Now Stoddard on a designed run with that three-man front, and that's how they can make you pay if you only bring three.
We saw that a couple weeks ago where I think the first three plays of the game was Stoddard taking the ball up the middle.
Gain of 10 makes it a first down ball at the 34-yard line of the Blue Devils.
Dinah 5 wide again. Nobody set in the backfield.
Wojak comes in motion behind him. Looks to flip, fakes it, tucks it, looks to throw. Knowles was double teamed, couldn't throw it to him. Tucks it and runs and gets at least, looks like a, see if they're going to give him a yard on that or not. Does not look like it.
Good decision by Stoddard there. What he was trying to do, you fake that little flip to Wojak, and you know you have two guys on Knowles. You're trying to get the safety to bite over a little bit, run that slant underneath, and they had excellent coverage, Brunswick did on that play. Brunswick elects to send 3 again.
They throw the wide receiver screen. Nice blocking ahead. That was just a great job blocking by both receivers out there, Wojak and also I think Cameron Hathaway. Just a great job blocking. Gave Nathan Ingus some room to run.
Important that that ball gets caught behind the line of scrimmage right there, as you have the guard and center going immediately to the linebacker, and that's the only play you can have. So that would be the read on that for Brunswick. Now Medina comes out in quads at the top of the screen.
Yeah, working that wide side of the field. And they got Brunswick to jump there, so that's going to be 5 yards. Give Medina 1st and 5 from the 19-yard line. Oh, 18-yard line, sorry.
So Medina typically likes to get Knowles by himself. They have quads at the top of the screen, Knowles at the bottom. But Brunswick is going to have a corner underneath and a safety up top helping with Knowles.
Which we've seen a lot this season. They really focus on Knowles. That's where these other receivers can step up and play big. And he goes across, finds Wojak right down the middle, and he's going to dive. Is he going to get in the end zone? And they're going to call him just short on about the half-yard line as he tried to dive and extend and just couldn't quite get there.
Both referees had a good look there, looked across from each other, signaled, and put him down at the 1.
Give it a gain of 17. Brunswick just trying to shuttle players off the field, and Stoddard just walks in easily.
And we have a flag on the field after the touchdown.
Celebration. Looks like that's where it's in the spot at. Stoddard kind of kneeled down to get a little excited, and I think they got him on a celebrating penalty there. So that's going to move this extra point attempt back.
That's the kind of stuff that, you know, when you get into a one-point game, you get into a close game, and, you know, maybe you miss this because of the extra distance. These are the things that you want to eliminate from the...
Well, look at this. He's going to bring the offense out now. This is one of the longest two-point attempts I've seen.
Right, usually it's the opposite. If you move up, you bring out the offense. Here we move back, we bring out the offense. So
a two-point conversion from the 18-yard line.
Right. Very, very different. Unorthodox is the word I'm looking for.
Stoddard back, feeling the pressure on the backside, still trying to buy time, still buying time. Now has to run. He's going to go nowhere, and that's going to be a failed try. So again, just like in the Menor game, you had a blocked extra point late in the game that played big dividends as Menor was able to go down and score and convert their extra point to win that one by a point. You left one out here early, and it's not the first time that's happened this season here for Medina.
Right, and that's just the small things that you find it necessary. And by midway point of the season, those things start disappearing. And I know young guys that you get in first score, big game, county game, neighbor game. And, you get a little bit excited. So Brunswick's offensive plan, I got to talk to Coach Dooling a little bit, who's the offense coordinator of Brunswick, and basically try to keep Medina's offense off the field, and not only keep their offense off the field, but get, sustained first downs each drive and keep moving the sticks.
Medina set to kick here from the 40-yard line.
Brunswick has 3x3 deep, covering the entire field.
Kelps lays into it. It's going to be fielded about the 16-yard line. Found a seam up the middle, but it was closed quickly. The ball came loose. We had a fumble.
Yep,
it's Medina football.
Jeffrey Marshall with the big hit, and Cam Sokolowski seems to come up with it. So Jeffrey Marshall comes through right in the middle. Head of steam by Brunswick. Jeffrey Marshall runs right into the ball carrier, and that ball gets coughed up, and Cam Sokolowski pounces on it.
We got a player down for Medina. 25 of Medina. That's Garrett Shook. Getting up quickly and making it off on his own, but Medina able to create the turnover.
And that's that big special team spark right there. You're staying in your lane. Jeffrey Marshall stayed in his lane, went straight ahead. You'll see it right here.
Yeah.
Head of steam.
He got an arm in there and just raked that ball loose. He's going to stay strong with it and rip it out. You can't quite see it there, but you saw he had that right arm on it and then ripped the ball out.
The ball came loose. We had a fumble.
I mean,
hard to tell from that angle whether a knee or anything was down, but it'll be Medina 1st and 10 from the 27. And right to Knowles, who a spectacular catch. They left him one-on-one, and Medina made him pay.
And we're sitting here at the 9:31 mark, and Medina has already struck twice. 12-0. And going back to the Jeffrey Marshall tackle there, that was the move that, if you remember, Lawrence Taylor made that move famous. The wrap up, and as you're taking him down the strip, pulling that ball out, making a huge play that actually put 6 up quick.
Now surprised here. Let's see. So there's my coaching. The extra point's good. Make sure there's no flags down or anything. Thoughts there? You missed earlier. Do you go for 2 just to try to get that 14, or do you wait till later to do that? Oh, here, we'll see the pass first. Nice poise in the pocket. Stoddard waited till the last minute, and look at Knowles high point that ball. I mean, that's tough to time that jump and
catch
stretch
it
out to get it.
Right, and he caught it with his hands, had the hands out in front. Textbook throw, textbook catch, and right at this point, Jared, I think you don't want to have 12 on the board. It's better to have 13, and put it through, get the short points. You struck twice, keep that momentum going. But I see what you're saying. Later in that game, if things go a little sideways.
So then, do you do that on your third, or if you get a third or fourth touchdown, you worry about it then?
Right. If you're within, I would think if you're within, like if it's 2 scores and you get your third or fourth, and Brunswick has some points on the board, but if it keeps going this way, I'm not sure you'll have to worry about it. So Brunswick going to do this again. 5 men in the front line, 3 in the middle, sitting about the 30, and 3 on the back line, sitting at the 15. And that ball is kicked deep, and it takes a backwards
it did not go into the end zone, so they're going to get pinned deep. They thought for sure it was going to roll in the end zone, but that thing spun. He needs that kind of shot on the golf course. That thing just died and spun right there at the goal line.
Right. That was a total Houdini kick right there. It did a magic trick. I mean, it had full force going into the end zone and just found a mind of its own.
Watch this ball hop.
And
looks like it's going to go in, and then right on this hop, there, it just dies and comes back the other way. Good wherewithal to pick that ball up, though, and make something out of nothing to at least get him up to the 13-yard line.
So right now, Medina winning that special teams war, which, you have that third part of the game. Medina doing really well on special teams.
Pressure, they got him by the jersey, and down he goes. That's 32
13,
in there.
Cooper Estes.
Yep, and John Estes in there, 32.
Ethan was sandwiched, brought down in the backfield by number 13 for Estes.
Cooper Estes has those
you're right. I was looking
big, strong arms, and all he had to do was get a piece of that jersey, and he just did a little bit of curl action and just brought him down to the turf. Going to bring up a second in about 14.
Ball back at the 9. They keep it on a designed run. Medina sniffs that out quickly. and closes that gap. Some extracurriculars going all over the place with the blocking right now. Like that one, the officials both went to converge, and both guys kind of patted each other on the back. They knew they were just going at it clean.
Right, and you know, you have that stuff going on early like this. There's going to be a lot of warfare going down in the trenches today with the front four of Medina and the Brunswick front five on offense. Brunswick comes out, 4 receivers set, 1 man in the backfield. Counter tray blocking action. They go to a screen.
Yeah. And again, Medina, good job to get through those blocks. Trying to catch a number 27. Looks like he was in there for Medina.
So on that play, really well-designed play by Brunswick. They're pulling the guard and tackle from the right side of the line, going to the left side of the line. So your linebackers that are reading that, they're seeing pull, they're reading run, and then you run a screen away from them. And if that receiver could break into the second level, technically, if everything works, you're not going to have a linebacker in that spot. So something to look for later. Counter tray action, screen action off of it.
So after the sack, force a 3 and a high snap on this punt on 4th down. Gets one away. What kind of hop will it take? Nothing that Knowles can handle. He's just going to let it go and give Medina still good field position, but a great punt there. Ends up at the Medina 38-yard line, 1st and 10.
Able to get it off and make something happen there. Low line drive punt. Takes a nice spin, nice bounce for Brunswick. And now I think everybody here can regroup. A lot of excitement in the first drive, and then, you know, the kickoff fumble. So Medina, foot is on the gas pedal right now, and I don't think that Coach Laird is going to take the foot off the gas pedal. Not going to be any pump and brakes here in the first quarter. 7:14 left to play in the first.
And Stoddard starts their 3rd drive here, looking right away, hits Wojak on the quick pass. I think we're going to get a holding call as we see the flag come in.
We're going to get a hold on 72, I believe. On the left side of the line, there's a little bit of a spin around, and 72 is Cole Huntley. Brought the defender down to the ground, and ref saw it as a hold. So 1st and 20. Medina again in 5 wide.
Ball at their own 28. Stoddard waiting. Soft snap. Again, another flag in there.
Hold.
And he's just going to throw it out of bounds.
And it may be on the same lineman, because what Brunswick's doing is they're taking their edge rushers, and sometimes they're going in, sometimes they're going out, and they're creating angles with just the 3, and it puts the offensive line in a bad spot where they have to chase.
So Medina 2 penalties here to move them back. Yeah, they got 77.
Pete Jarvis this time. And that's the other end of the line. That's your other tackle. And so if you keep looking at these edge rushers, they line up in a different angle each time. And they're trying to widen out that line.
So now back at the 18. A 1st and 30 for the Bees. Blitz coming. They set up the screen. Wojak, a heck of a one-hand catch. Pulled that down and takes the official down, but able to get some of the yardage back.
Excellent play call there. Now you have again, I'm talking about the 2 edge rushers. They were held both the last 2 plays. Now you don't block them.
Right.
You let them come in, run a screen, and they're licking their chops coming across the line. They're unblocked, and Wojak able to pull it down and make something out of nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great call, because you think the lineman's not going to go as hard because he doesn't want to get called for another hold.
Absolutely.
Great play call. Whitehill goes in motion. Back to Stoddard. He held back this time. You saw the defensive lineman, number 66 of Brunswick. Great job, Tino Vivier. He read that and just
excellent adjustment. It's like you're going down a playground slide, and you're just going too fast, and you're thinking something's just not right here, and you're not going to get me twice. So he holds back and is able to stay at heel depth.
3rd and 23 here for the Bees. Definitely, they'll go forward on 4th down, so you just would like to get about half of it back here, if not more. Stoddard back. Feeling that pressure from that 3-man front. He's going to tuck and run. Was trying to get a block from his receiver and couldn't get it. And a great open field tackle out there.
This is going to be
number 11, Brennan Dunlap on the stop.
This is going to be a big decision here because you're sitting at 3rd and a good 16 maybe, and you really don't want to give Brunswick the ball on the 32-yard line.
Could this be one of those where he does his quick kick?
Nobody on Brunswick's team is really going back for it. They have 2 deep safeties.
He just backed himself up more, and he just signaled it. He signaled it with his foot. He's going for the quick kick. Now they see that, and they're dropping the safety.
Now number 17, Ryder Kern, goes back.
Beautiful punt, though, by Stoddard. Holy cow, is that thing going?
Too good of a punt.
Too good of a punt. He got all of that one. I think he's found a second career. If
Danny Stoddard's going to be at the punt, pass, and kick competition this weekend. That ball, it was a perfect spiral that went into orbit. Nothing like flipping the field that quickly. And that has become Medina's normal punt team because they typically do not punt. But in that situation, you know, being up 2 scores, you really don't want to give Brunswick that short field. Medina showing a little bit different look. Guys moving around. Jeffrey Marshall coming up to the line. Showing blitz. Medina playing up tight to the line right now. Corners are dropping.
Nice slant there. That's going to get close to the first down and bring up a 2nd and short as that pass is complete to number 19.
And Jeffrey Marshall on that play comes in unabated. I mean, he wasn't touched and just doesn't get to the quarterback, but was able to put a decent hit just as the ball was released. And those hits add up if you're a quarterback.
So 2nd and 1 now. Ball placed at the 29-yard line of Brunswick.
Medina this week looks like they want to stop the run. They're bringing some extra guys up in the box. 2 backers.
And there came that run, and quickly sniffing that out was number 8, Talon Hulvey. He made the wrap up as he stopped Cooper Neal that was on the run.
You know, Talon Hulvey is one of those hybrid type players. He literally could play safety, come up and make a tackle as he is a linebacker because he breaks on the ball so quick. Playing strong safety, he can cover the flat, he can cover deep, he can do just about anything on the field. If you needed him as an edge rusher, he could do that too. Just a very special player.
That run still good enough for a first down. 1st and 10. Ball placed at the 33-yard line of Brunswick. And QB designed run, barreling ahead, straight ahead is the quarterback Ethan Sandich.
And this is Brunswick's plan. They want to grind it out, move the chains, slow things down, take time off the clock, keep Medina's offense off the field. And
5 yards on that carry. 2nd and 5 now at the 38.
And it seems like Brunswick's finally settled in a little bit. And Medina is, you can tell this week they're committed to stop the run. Both safeties, each player playing about 7 to 8 yards off the ball. Linebackers are coming up tight to the line and blitzing.
They're trying to close the gaps. Good run there by Brunswick to find the outside gap as the quarterback keeps it and gets it to a 3rd and 1.
Ethan Sandich, the quarterback, grinding out some yards on this drive. Going to be a 3rd and 1 and probably a no-brainer 4-down territory here for the Blue Devils.
You look, they got the center right now. He's 6'4", 320. That's a good one to follow behind when you need a yard.
Medina has 5 on the line, 2 backers tight.
Oh, almost got him from the backfield. And I think, did he get enough forward progress? Let's see the spot.
This is going to be very close.
I think he's going to be short by about the nose of the football. We'll see.
Well, the Brunswick sideline is saying first. The Medina sideline is saying fourth. And the referees
ref gave
finally.
him the first. What happened to the old days where you actually bring the chain out to measure that when it's that close?
I think they still do it if coach requests it or if it's that close. But I think on that one they kind of do the judgment test. You need John Madden and Pat Summerall. They were never wrong, and they could be a mile away.
So the ball up to the 43-yard line of Brunswick. 1st and 10. They go for the wide receiver screen, and nice job to go around that defender and make the open field tackle. That was Darnell Davis getting in there for the Bees to make that stop.
And the secondary and linebackers tonight for Medina are playing aggressive, and they're playing fast. And when you're playing aggressive and fast, aggressive opens up the screen game, but when you're playing fast, it also shuts down the screen game. So I see what Brunswick's trying to do here. They're seeing the aggression, they're seeing the linebackers blitz, they're seeing the safeties up, running the screen game, but they're playing really fast tonight.
2nd and 13 now on the 3-yard loss on that last play. Back looking, nothing deep, covered well, now scrambling, and quickly met there by number 3, Cooper Josefsik, in there to make the stop. Nowhere to go there for the quarterback, Roxandage.
Little hits, they just keep adding up. Cooper Josefsik with a big hit there on the quarterback. And Medina's almost in a situation here on defense where they're bringing 5 every time and saying, kind of like the old school football where you're running a 5-2, not quite lined up like that, but they're bringing 5 almost every time and daring Brunswick to throw the ball.
Well, they're going to have to here on a 3rd and 13 on the 40-yard line. They need to get to Medina's territory. They set up that running back screen, trying to get up the sideline and shakes some tacklers and easily gets the first down as some blown tackles by Medina gave number 5, Colin Kavolik, wide open sideline to break it into Medina territory and gets the first down. So we have a flag. Do I see a flag?
They're bringing it back. Credit to Kavolik there where he really accelerated quickly on the screen. Was able to just turn the corner and pick up, 15 yards, but this is coming back.
Yeah, so holding call. Maybe that's why he had such a clear path down that sideline.
So we're at the end of the quarter, and so there's going to be one untimed down here for Brunswick.
And it's going to be a 3rd and 23.
And I would imagine it would be something out of the screen game again because probably not going to want to float one down the field. You have those. And I agree with, Brunswick run a lot of screens. You got to agree with that when someone's playing really aggressive. So 3rd and a mile. Last play of the first quarter, Medina up 13-0.
Roxandage waiting to take the snap, does. Looks to his right, nothing. Sees a hole in the middle, thinks about running, tries to tuck it, and gets met right away. And, of course, Cooper Josefsik in there to quickly clean up and bring him down. That untimed down brings it to the end of the first quarter. Walk the ball back to the other side where it'll be 4th down. Make sure the official, that's what his whistle was, it will. They'll take it down. It'll be 4th and about 24 from the Brunswick 29-yard line when we start this second quarter.
Yep. Roxandage talking to his receivers, trying to straighten some things out.
Well, credit to the secondary there. If I'm not mistaken, those were all designed pass plays. They're not a delayed quarterback run. And we're able to close in quickly once he does tuck that ball and start to run.
Right, and you look at the 2 defenses. You look at Medina's defense tonight, you look at Brunswick's defense. Brunswick is basically dropping 8 in the coverage and rushing 3. And that's one way to stop the pass. I mean, you're going to try to cover, we're going to try to rush with 3. Medina is, hey, we're not going to drop that many guys. We're going to trust our defensive backs, and we're going to send the house.
So here, do you drop a safety back at least a little bit to protect that first down? Nothing gets past you? Oh, they're going to set up for the punt, sorry.
So Medina in block. They're bringing the house.
Oh, and almost
got there.
Fair catch called by Knowles, and he catches it nicely there at the 37-yard line.
it's great to have a guy like Knowles being
Sokolowski almost got a hand on that one. But go ahead, you were saying about Knowles.
I was going to say, it's great to have a guy like Knowles back there, because wherever that punt is, if it takes a weird spin, does anything, you call for a fair catch. There's nobody better at catching a football. So, I mean, having your one of your most short-handed receivers catching that, there's absolutely no worry.
You said it'd take about a quarter for that sun to clear out, and it looks like that's about what it took.
And Medina's receivers would be looking into the sun now. So,
ball at their own 37, 1st and 10 for the Bees. Stoddard back, an empty backfield as usual. Looks to his left, nothing there. Feels the pressure, rolling away from it, getting into pressure, throws it away, and we're going to get another holding call. I see a flag come in. It was complete to Wojak, who takes it to the 45, but I think we're going to get another hold.
So Brunswick's, take a look what this call is.
See who they're talking to more first here. Face mask, look at that. So Medina catches the break.
This can be the 5-yard variety, tack on, first down Medina.
Give credit there, that was Matt Tomick in our booth there that called that one, so good call there, Matt.
Medina 5 wide again. Stoddard back.
Wants to go deep, fires it. Knowles right there, stepped inside. He's got room to run now. Tucks it in, protects the football, and goes down as a swarm of Blue Devil defenders take him down at about the 18-yard line.
Well, Brunswick has some thinking to do here, because Medina receivers are getting open. Their timing is down tonight. Stoddard's timing is down tonight. And they're not quite getting there with 3 guys, so giving Stoddard just enough time to find open receivers.
And again, like you said, they're in a zone coverage, and our receivers just finding those slots in the coverage, as that one's completed to number 15, Nathan Angus.
And a lot of times, if you're in that zone, you have some guys that you can't recognize because there's 8 in coverage. But if the timing is down, if Danny's getting the ball and getting rid of it at the right time, those receivers are going to be open.
Ball at the 7-yard line. Stoddard looking, fires it. Oh, thought he was going to overthrow Wojak, but then the ball comes loose. Does Wojak get back in it? I think Wojak dove down in there. It wasn't a Brunswick player's hands, but Wojak dove underneath him. We'll see if he got on top of it or not.
Wow, that ball kicked out, went into Brunswick's hands, and then Wojak having the wherewithal to get right back there and get the ball back.
And somehow get 2 yards on the play. 2nd and goal now, ball at the 5.
They're showing the replay here.
Yeah, looking to dive back in to quickly fall on it. And in the meantime, we have a quick touchdown as Stoddard takes it in. So trying to show the ball pop loose, but Stoddard able to take it in from 2 yards out. All right, go for 2 here. Nope, gonna go for the extra point.
9 up 3 scores now, sitting at 19-0, 10-16 left to play here in the half. Lining up for the extra point attempt.
So I need to go get my chart updated with coaches on whether you go for 2 or 1.
Well, you have the chart with 2 or 1, but Coach Laird, I don't think ever goes by any charts. So he's mostly by gut, and I'll tell you, 9 times out of 10, his gut is right.
That's true. Makes it 20-0 in favor of Medina.
And there is a sea of neon right there. See Andy Brenner walking in front. And it's almost like anybody that walks in front of the swarm, they're glowing like they're on a green screen because you have the brightness coming off the neon.
So 5 plays, 1:34 off the clock. Medina gets the touchdown on the Stoddard run. Puts them up 20-0 here with 10:16 to go here in the second quarter.
And if you have an onside kick in the game, this is probably the best time to do it. You're up 20, and it is totally unexpected. That ball is booted deep to the 5.
See if Avon maintains lanes. They do, and wall it up, and nice job to stop them about the 27-yard line, where it'll be Brunswick 1st and 10.
Landon Case, the ball carrier, takes it from the 5 to about the 25.
So 10-10 to go here before the half. We'll see if Brunswick can try to build kind of what they did at the beginning part of that drive before it got stopped. They started with a pass, kind of run, like you said, running those little wide receiver screens, and then mixed in some run after that.
And I like the Medina's defensive style tonight. They're not playing that bend and break, and they are playing aggressive. We have 11 guys getting after the ball. We have our pass rushers, our run defense. Everything is played tight today, up close and aggressive. Counter Trey.
Good pursuit. You could just see the wall of bees there as he was trying to figure out where to cut it up. Sure, he got positive yards, but instead of the usual 5 or 6 that we would talk about early on, I think he got about 4 on that one.
And that play right there, I will say, we're at the Tom Fasco Classic. You're running counter Trey. Coach Fasco made that play famous. I mean, that was his bread and butter. We're pulling the guard and tackle. We're blocking down and running behind the guard and tackle. So, I mean, that play is still in the playbook, and it's been there since the 90s.
Second and about 5 on the 32. They go for the wide receiver. Almost tipped at the line of scrimmage. Oh, face mask.
And Marshall almost got his hand on that ball.
Yeah, and we're going to get a face mask there in for the tackle. He got his hand stuck in that mask. So that's going to help Brunswick out to move the ball forward.
Jeffrey Marshall is coming off the edge tonight really quickly. I mean, that ball was almost tipped and a fraction away from even maybe being intercepted. So that is going to be bring up 1st and 10 at about the 46-yard line.
Yeah, I know we're having, for everyone watching at home, some issues with our scoreboard relaying the down and distance, so we'll do our best here as we comment for you to try to get that in there. Having some problem with communications technology. But on the first down play, it's a designed quarterback run. Nice run there by the quarterback, Sandich. Just really muscled and worked his way ahead for a big gain for Brunswick to take it into Medina territory down to the 42-yard line.
And you're going to have plays like that when you're ultra aggressive. If you get past that first wave, you don't have the linebackers sitting and playing read if they're coming up, taking on blockers. So that's the kind of play you're going to give up every now and then. You got to let your safety make the tackle.
So on first down, throws the pass. A nice little release there. I think he was in blocking and then just peeled off his block, and nice reception there by John Crawford IV.
Brunswick now moving the chains, approaching the red zone here.
Yep, at the 27-yard line of Medina. Design quarterback run on the snap again. Good yardage. So Brunswick finding something that's working here on that left side of the line.
Using some simple football right here, Brunswick. Doing a little smash mouth. A little bit of, you don't technically have a fullback in the game, but you're using that motion back to be a lead blocker, blocking isolation to the linebacker and being able to push it through.
2nd and 6 on the 23-yard line. Back looking to throw, nothing on the right side. Got a hold of him once, steps in though, makes a throw to the end zone. Wide open receiver, holds on, touchdown. Caught by number 19, Hayden Swarm. 23 yards out, and Brunswick's on the board.
Excellent throw there by Sandich. Able to weather the first storm, break a tackle, a little bit of a tackle there, and put enough on it to get to the back of the end zone. Perfect throw.
And yeah, just a good presence to shake off that tackle and the poise in the pocket to make a great throw.
So
The extra point attempt waiting. Snap down, good. Kick is up, and kick is good. Just make sure I didn't see any flags.
Brunswick strikes back to make it 20-7. 7:40 left in the half.
There's
So
that touchdown
breaks
throw again.
One tackle there.
Another one there, and the poise just to get in. That's one part where the DB gets caught kind of looking back at the quarterback and just gave up those extra steps.
Right, it's difficult because if he's under pressure and you're a safety, you start looking up. Is he going to dump it off in the flat, and I got to come up and support, and somebody sneaks by you, makes it very difficult.
So the Brunswick cheerleaders, something to cheer about there as Brunswick gets on the board with 7:40 to go here in the second quarter. Now down by 13.
Kind of looked like a little Kenny the Snake Stabler there.
Yes,
for anybody out there that's 60 and over.
Yeah, and everyone else, Google it. A little squib kick, let that one go out of bounds. No, just like our kick, that one kind of stayed alive. And look at the reversal of field here. Wojak trying to clear the corner. Can he get there? And good job to get wrapped up from behind. That was number 11 of Brunswick, Brennan Dunlap, that saved possibly a big run by Wojak.
And for Brunswick, Alexander Hubble played that perfect. He was the contained man, and he had a blocker on the inside, but he kept his right arm free and rode that all the way to the sideline. So basically, Medina was one guy away from breaking that and taking it for a touchdown. But Hubble was able to do his job and play sound football and keep that arm free and keep extending it.
Ball at the 34-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Bees, their own 34. Stoddard to the empty backfield, 4 wide receivers to the bottom of your screen.
Knowles set to himself, but they have double coverage.
Nice job and patience there by Stoddard to wait on his blockers. Still continues to wait on the blockers, follows them, and takes it ahead for a gain of 12. First down for the Bees, ball at the 48-yard line of Medina.
Jared, how about the vision of Danny Stoddard to be able to see one or two moves up the field? It was like they were predetermined. He could read where the defensive back was going, the linebacker was going, already had his moves made. Excellent run.
And great blocking there from the linemen up to the receivers there to help give him that 12-yard run. Now it's a handoff this time. Wojak finds a huge hole, puts his head down and gets 11. Nice run by number 6, Jack Wojak.
It's almost like, you didn't even recognize Wojak in the backfield because we haven't lined up with a back in the backfield, and going against a 3-man front, get some easy yardage.
Ball in Brunswick territory at the 42, 1st and 10 for the Bees. It's another give. Wojak, good job to move hands and then protect that football as he puts his shoulder down for yet another first down to the 31 of Brunswick.
I love it when a ball carrier finishes a run forward for that extra 1 or 2 yards, and it becomes big time, especially if you're running between the tackles and you're getting stopped up. You're not going to lose yards. You're always going to get 2 to maybe 4.
The fake to Wojak. This time Stoddard shakes one tackle, works it up the sideline, gets knocked out of bounds. Looks like it's going to be about the 15-yard line.
And that was a quarterback counter tray right there. They had the right guard and tackle pulling. So Stoddard had numbers on that side. Excellent blocking by the line.
And Brunswick's going to take a timeout to regroup after that 16-yard run by Stoddard.
Well, and this is where the chess match begins because you're and Coach Laird's great at after timeout plays. We've seen that, since he's been here. And the chess match starts here because Brunswick's thinking now we got to stop the run. If they're in that, this is what we're going to do. And this is perfect time for play action.
Yeah.
Some sort of play action. You get backers to come up and bite, and you drop one in the end zone.
And this is where they love to go high point it and let Knowles just go get it. It depends on the coverage here too. If they run enough that you start to shade that safety over, like you said, and that leaves him one-on-one.
Right, and what we've seen earlier this year, and you do have Knowles isolated here, if Stoddard rolls to his right, and like you were saying, Jared, that safety is going to go with him, and you throw to the back left corner of the end zone, which would be the top of your screen, it's perfectly set up because you have the wide side of the field.
You got Wojak on a slant here because the safety's going to shade towards Knowles. He jumped off sides, yeah. They tried to fake the blitz with the DB, and he came clear across the line.
Not what you want coming out of a timeout. Well, that changes everything now. Coach Laird calling in a different play. Same formation.
Ball now down at the Brunswick 10-yard line. Snap back, Stoddard looks, comes back across the field,
Jared.
and nice, there's that slant.
Able to get under the coverage as Jared called right before the play. He saw Wojak over there. You've got two on Knowles and able to get underneath, and Stoddard fires a strike. I'd like to have a radar gun on that pass.
That one had a little speed on it, that's for sure. So Medina quickly answers back. I'm not sure. I know Medina brought a player in last second, so I think that's what the officials are waiting on.
So waiting for the snap here. Extra point attempt is good.
So now Medina answers back 27-7. Here's another look at it here. You can see him just plant. Look at that. Just rifle throw in there. Even was a little behind him, so nice job by Wojak to rotate around and grab that ball. But you see how he got positioned on that slant, and that's because the safety went outside with Knowles. There was no one in that middle to help protect.
So what's really astonishing to me, I've had the last couple weeks the opportunity to sit back, relax, watch college football, watch NFL football. Mm-hmm. I see more drops in college and the NFL than I do in a Medina game. These receivers are spectacular. You'll see, guys making millions of dollars drop that pass right there.
Yeah, just ask Patrick Mahomes, right?
Exactly.
Well, good response drive by Medina once Brunswick put together a nice drive to get on the board. They answer right back and really do it in a quick fashion. Kick fielded at the 5. Looking to find a seam. Found one briefly, but nice tackle. Who's that down at the bottom? 27, I believe, of Medina. Braden Smeagol that got in there and make the stop.
That kickoff team playing with a little attitude tonight. You can see about 5 jerseys immediately swarm to the ball.
Well, it's something that isn't practiced a lot in practice, but it's probably one of the more important aspects of the game in terms of field position. If you can stop them and keep them deep, you're already helping your defense out by staying in those lanes, staying at home, like you talked about Brunswick on the last one, keeping that contained.
And you're right, it's hard to do it live now. I mean, you're not going to line your kickoff team up and go live. I mean, you're going to go maybe half speed. And
so 1st and 10 at the Brunswick's own 29 to start this drive.
Medina safety's playing no deeper than 5 yards.
And Medina brought the pressure that time. He gets away from it, goes one-on-one downfield, and overthrows his intended receiver. That pass intended for Ryder Kern. Great coverage by Talon Halvey. Yeah.
And so you'll probably see Brunswick take, they may get out of their game plan a little bit, but take a few deep shots here because, the safeties in Medina, I mean, they are playing very close to the line tonight, very tight and aggressive. And I would think the primary key is to stop the run.
2nd and 10 now at the 29 of Brunswick.
And safeties here are sitting no deeper than 8 yards.
Brock Sandich takes it, hands it off.
Counter tray action.
Just filling the gaps and charging and being aggressive to the football. Again, that was Braden Smeagol flying in there from the safety position to make the stop.
I love what I'm seeing tonight out of this defense. I love the aggression. I love the pursuit. I love the angles. Doing everything right tonight.
So a 3rd and 8 as the ball is placed on Brunswick's 31-yard line.
This is where Brunswick has gone to their screen game.
And they do set at the wide receiver screen. Oh, the ball went off his hands and helmet and floated there for a few minutes before falling to the turf, and it'll bring up a 4th and 8 and a punting situation for Brunswick.
I'll tell you what, it would have been a very close play. It would have been within either at the sticks or maybe 8 yards, but it was makes the catch there. That's going to be a very close play the way that was set up.
He had a good wall of blockers ahead of him.
And that's been the 3rd down and 8, 9 yard play for Brunswick.
So Brunswick, the snap on the 4th down from their own 31. Knowles was waiting at the 35 as that ball's going to go right to him at the 35. Tries to make one man miss, does, and tries to make 3 more miss, but it's not going to happen as he gets brought down at the 34.
And sometimes it's okay to go down. I mean, you catch a ball like that, get to the sideline, and you're taking shots. It's okay to go down.
Don't want to do too much sometimes. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So 1st and 10 for the Bees. Ball at their own 34-yard line. .5:10 to go. That's a lot of time for this offense. Oh, just that time, a miscommunication. I think Stoddard thought Knowles was going to the outside. Knowles curled to the inside, reading that zone, and looked for that soft cushion. So just, oh, nope, you see Stoddard quickly tell Knowles that was my fault.
And that's a rare thing. Those two have been on the same page all season. It's almost like they're sharing a brain. They know what each other is doing most of the time, and that time just, like you said, Jared, move one way, throw the other. 2nd and 10.
But there are the gaps. They let him come in. You knew the screen was coming. Good double clutch there by Stoddard to buy Wojak the time, because Wojak was not even open, and the defense was coming at Stoddard, and he had to buy as much time as he could before he could get it to Wojak, who takes it for the 1st down.
And you are so on point there, Jared, because any fraction of a second different, that play's probably going to, in time, that play's probably going to get blown up.
Ball at the 47-yard line of Medina. Stoddard takes it. 1st and 10. Look left, nothing doing. Feels pressure, now rolls right. Fires downfield, has a man. Did he catch it in bounds? Waiting on the official signal. He does. What a great throw, and what an even better catch there by number 7, Cameron Hathaway.
Besides running to your right and throwing, or running to your left and throwing to your right, the next hardest thing in football is having a guy streaking down the field while you're on a dead sprint and hit him in time.
Over the shoulder, no less, as the ball was placed at the 24, 1st and 10 for the Bees in Brunswick territory. Stoddard buying time, rolls right, now fires it out of bounds as nobody was open. Good coverage. As that time, Brunswick went more to a man coverage and did not sit back in the zone. Here's the throw on the replay. As he just had pressure on him and just lobs it down there. And look at that over-the-shoulder catch. That's just perfect.
You can't throw a better pass on a full sprint. I mean, that's some upper-level stuff right there that Danny Stoddard is doing.
Well, and the concentration for Hathaway, too, to look through the defender and come down with that ball over the shoulder. We're going to get a whistle and a timeout by Brunswick. That was their 2nd. They'll have 1 left with 4:29 to go here before the half. But again, just a great pass. And good job, Matt Tomek back there, directing and doing replay. Double duty back there. I also give thanks to the rest of our crew here tonight. As we have Josh Nass on one camera and Connor Donnelly on the other one. So great work by those 2 young men here this evening helping us out. And, of course, Nick Kaplak and myself, Jared, right here to call the action for you. A great first half here for Medina, and they're trying to add to it, up 27-7 with 4:29 to go here in the 2nd quarter. A 2nd down and 10. Ball at the Brunswick 24-yard line for Medina.
So Medina coming out in 5 wide, 2nd and 10.
They bring a blitz from the outside, nicely picked up as Stoddard buys time, throws it towards the corner. Wojak to high point it. I think he did, and he did. He came down with it through the double team. High pointed that football. Look at the faith, but we do have a flag down on the field. We have a flag on the field. Not sure what the flag is, so we got to wait and decipher that out, but it was a touchdown throw.
I mean,
Wojak.
Waiting for the call.
Okay, so it's after the play. So now wait a second, they got it. So again, 15 yards assessed on the extra point. Well, here, watch the touchdown throw first before we get into our try for 2 or 1.
The amount of height, I mean, that's Uncle Rico thrown over the mountain right there. That ball is up there for a long time, and it gives him a chance to play a little basketball in the paint. I mean, and bring that down. Wow. Whoa.
Oh, a little bobble there at the end. Let's get the next play over. The long distance 2-point conversion, Medina's making a specialty of that here tonight. The throw across the middle, caught by Hathaway, and we're going to get it. Well, there. Do you draw that up every day? A 19-yard 2-point conversion?
Nice job by Hathaway, knowing he has to get in, and makes a couple moves and puts on the speed. Gets the 2-point conversion. And Stoddard there had a little shakes to get the defense off of them by a little bit of time.
And by getting that play snapped and off, we didn't have to worry about that there.
A little shake.
That's a back foot throw. Look at that. Jumping off the back foot to make that throw, and then look at Hathaway, just stay with it. He's come up with some big catches here tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, that looked to me a little bit like baseball right there, where you're turning a double play, you're doing something, you're jumping and throwing, and that's, when you look at like a Mahomes, where he creates those angles and goes sidearm, jumps up.
Well, and then the strength for Hathaway, you're not in the goal, you're not across the goal line yet, so you've got to be strong to go through it and not go down with that first bit of contact he got.
Nine up, 35-7 with 4:21 left to play here in the half.
That took 49 seconds for that drive to culminate. Another kick fielded at the 5. Medina's defense walling up, trying to, someone broke contained to the outside. And a nice return here for Brunswick, as that's number 6 of Brunswick, Landon Case, with a great return. Gets Brunswick in good territory here with 4:10 to go. Ball will be just inside Medina territory, I think. Should be about the 49-yard line.
So look at Case right there. 2 nice returns tonight. Using some of the technology there on the Brunswick sideline. Things have changed quickly over time when you look at a sideline. It went from chalkboards to whiteboards to,
cameras that
HD
TVs.
TV.
Yeah. I think they got the Menor game on down there. Picture in picture. So 1st and 10 for Brunswick here. Try to get something going here before the half. They will have the ball to start the third quarter, so perfect opportunity to get those 2 possessions in. If they can put a good drive together here at the Medina 49, 1st and 10. Back looking to throw. They set up that little wide receiver screen again. Nice open field hold at first. Oh my gosh, still shook 2 tackles. 2 guys thought they had him down, and instead, great job by Cooper Neal there at an extra effort to get him the first down and move the chains.
Right, Cooper Neal staying low to the ground, keeping the center of gravity. Couple spin moves, and
I tell you, that was video game-esque right there. Someone was hitting the B button and spin with the right toggle, I think, at the same time.
Well, I like how Halvey came up and hit the hit stick then, if we're going to stay in that realm. And that always stops the feet.
Double pass. They're looking for the double pass, and they got a man wide open. Medina fell for it with that aggressiveness. Trick play by Brunswick gets the score. 39 yards out.
And that's one that you have in the bag of tricks. You set it under the table, and you just kind of wait. Medina playing aggressive all game. Brunswick knows they need a score right there. 3:34 left to play in the half, and you're just kind of waiting for the right time. And You know, a lot of times when you're that open, it's a tough pass because you tend to underthrow the ball because you don't want to overthrow it.
Well, and that's one they set up all game by all these little wide receiver screens, and you just set the table, and they finally called it. Great play call by Brunswick there.
Extra point coming up.
Hold is good. Kick is up, and kick is good. So 35-14.
Right, you have that one sitting there, and you're like, you know, do we save it for the second half? And it's like you need to score right now, and I know you're putting Medina's offense back on.
Here you're going to see it again. Let's see if that ball actually. That's the first one where he did the spin. Yeah, the broken tackles.
One.
Well, and just look, he just keeps spinning and stays on his feet. That's just tough effort right there. And that's kind of stuff that can inspire a team and get you fired up. And then there's the double pass. That's a nice touch on that ball. Sometimes that's the hardest throw to make when a guy's that wide open.
And it was just a little bit underthrown because you're like, oh my gosh, we're just playing catch here. But that spin move there, and you saw that Medina did that new form of, it's not new anymore, but that new form of tackling where you do the hawk tackle and you attack the hip and you spin. And I've yet to see somebody spin off like that. That was an incredible move.
They bring the kicking ball out for the kicker. Now they've squibbed it a few times here. Let's see if they go back to that train of thought.
Right, Medina has weapons deep. It's just something that if a guy breaks contain or there's one mistake on that, the 10 guys in their lanes, Medina can break one.
And there it is, the squib. Again, just nice job. He kicks that to where that ball won't go out of bounds.
Very impressive, where it's hanging on the sideline and kind of curves back.
That's some skill there on that kick. Looks like they're going to place it at the 25-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Bees. With 3:29 to go here before the half. Again, that's still a lot of time. Most of these drives have been about a minute and a half to maybe 2 minutes tops for the Bees on each of their possessions. So we'll see what they can do with all 3 timeouts and 3:29 to go here before the half.
Be interesting to look at the halftime stats to see how many passes Stoddard has thrown, how many completions, but it seems to be up there today for the first half of football.
Fake the run. They go to be their own version of the double pass. And Whitehill couldn't hang on to it. He was thinking about running too much. They had it diagrammed perfectly, and Whitehill just couldn't hold on.
Coach Laird says, well, we have that too. That's a good idea. Let's go with it. And, I mean, it was there. That would have put Medina past midfield. There would have been one defender to beat, but a little bit underthrown. But Whitehill still had it and just kind of ball slipped out.
Yeah, that's one you just don't worry about running, Mr. Whitehill. Just come down with the ball. That's right. He'll come back and make a play later.
So Medina now in quads.
Stoddard will keep it. Big hole with that 3-man rush. Nice little move. Like you said before, Nick, just that way to think ahead and know what move you're going to make.
You know, you have a corner and you have a safety out here, and they're looking at Knowles, and you have the rest of your defense shifted over to the quads, and that just opens up some natural lanes for Stoddard.
And it takes it up to the 47-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Bees. There's the give to Wojak. A little hesitation as he tried to find a hole. Just a little too much east-west running instead of north-south on that one, and takes it for maybe a small gain. Ball will still be placed, it looks like, at the 48-yard line. Oh, no, I'm sorry, 49. They did give him a yard on that one.
So 2:44 and counting here in the half. 2nd and 8.
Ball at the 49. Stoddard looking to his right, now looks left at his receivers, takes a snap, now will roll towards the left.
Yes, all day to throw.
Now looking to run. Good strength to break that one-arm tackle, and just gets out of bounds after picking up about 4 into Brunswick territory down to the 46-yard line.
what you're seeing tonight out of Stoddard is, as the season progresses, he is really seeing the field that when it's time to run, he's taking off. There's no hesitation. When he sees his 8 yards in front of him, he's picking it up.
They're going to set up that give and go kind of deal with Knowles here soon. As you can see, Wojak take it ahead for a first down to the Brunswick 40. But Knowles has done 2 different plays now where he's come back to the ball short, and that usually will set him up for that stop and go that they'll run 1 or 2 times a game here.
Right, and they love running it right before the half or right before, end of a quarter. We're getting into about that territory.
Little play action pass. Stoddard now uses Knowles as a blocker. Gets out of bounds. A shove late, but no whistles. As the Medina crowd lets the officials hear some displeasantries on that, but a gain of about 7 on the carry. Makes it a 2nd and 3 at the Brunswick 33-yard line.
Again, great vision by Stoddard. He's able to see where he has 6 to 8 yards every time. And as soon as he recognizes it, he's gone. There's no hesitation.
This time back in the backfield. You don't say that often, as Wojak is on his right, and Wojak will take the handoff. Just a great job by Wojak. Technique, getting the ball switched from that right hand to that left hand as he headed left. Protect that football, put the shoulder down, and get the first down.
And Medina's offensive line getting some surge on the run plays. You're getting surge in the run plays. When you're bringing 3 guys all game and they're pass rushing, it gets very tiring. When you're pass rushing every single play, it gets tiring, and you kind of, the first move you want to make, you want to get in your pass rush move and run the ball. Boom, not expecting it.
So 1st and 10 at the 28 of Brunswick. Across the middle, and they're coming back with a good catch as Whitehill knew he was going to get a chance to redeem himself there. And makes a tough catch across the middle, and a timeout by Medina.
And Whitehill knew he was going to get hit there. That's one of those ones where they say you hear the footsteps, but Whitehill able to bring it in with his hands, protect the ball, and able to get down quickly.
Gain of 7 will bring up a 2nd down, and we'll call it 4. A long 3. And with 1:27 to go, and now 2 timeouts left for Medina as they utilize one here. Still plenty of time for this offense with the clock stopped on a first down.
So in a spot here where Medina, coming out of a timeout in a short yard situation, usually takes a shot to the end zone.
Well, here you got Knowles and Wojak side by side, and this is where we converted last time. Make the safety commit to Knowles and at least Wojak over the middle.
Rolls to the right into the corner.
There it is again, going Knowles corner though. Touchdown. That time the safety followed Wojak, and it left Knowles open.
And Medina has run that play all year, and it has been money all year. And it takes a special quarterback that could run to his left, and you have Knowles running a post corner, which takes time, and Stoddard's able to get it all the way to the corner every time. And we've seen it even from deeper, out on the 35, where he's putting it in the end zone, running to his right, throwing to his left.
And that brought the safety over to follow Wojak, who ran a post inside, ran a little slant inside, and just left him one-on-one out there. And the extra point is up and good. Nice job by Finn Kelps to get the extra point. Here it is again.
And he never even looks. He knows where he's going.
He just puts it over to that back corner, and you can see the safety, the corner trying to catch up. And that's an easy catch by Knowles.
And you could watch something like that on film over and over and over. But when you're in the heat of a game and the quarterback rolls to his right, you have to respect it, especially when the receiver's running a post, puts on the brakes. And typically at this level, you don't have quarterbacks that can throw all the way back and be that accurate thrown across their body.
Well, and then Knowles with the speed to get the separation there, too. Really sold that route, like you said. It was the kind of run that post, outside post. He put a good move on.
And like you said, Jared, it helps to have Wojak over there, too, because now you have 3 guys covering the 2, and You can't have 1.5 and 1.5.
Oh, look at us, our own version of spinning it down. We're seeing all kinds of kicking game specialties here tonight. I mean, he put a spin on that, so it stayed in. We watched Brunswick do the same. We kicked one that stopped on the goal line.
Now, we just need you to sing that song, Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better, and we just keep going back and forth with it.
You don't want me singing. We can leave that to you.
No, maybe. I'd like to hear it. Maybe by fourth quarter.
So now Brunswick, a chance to, again, maybe try to take advantage, get a big play like they did the last time with that double pass. Minute 13 to go. They will have the ball to start the third quarter. See if they can come away with some points here to end the half and go into the locker room ready to come back and do some damage with their first possession of the third.
Medina staying aggressive.
Right now, the weapon of choice for this Brunswick team, and again, showing them, and like the extra effort there, as he's going out of bounds, stretches the ball forward to get as much yards as possible. Cooper Neal really doing a great job here for this Brunswick team.
A lot of yards after catch. Now, Medina playing this week's version of prevent. They moved the safeties back to 10 yards. They've been playing at 6 yards all game. They've been playing very aggressive.
So 1st and 10 at the 44 Brunswick. Medina getting some pressure. Good elusiveness there. Gets rid of it. And it's complete and stayed in bounds.
Great coverage.
Great catch there by Hayden Swarm.
And Hayden Swarm pulled that down between two defenders. That's some great concentration by that young man. And there was great coverage. The entire secondary, there was nothing open. I mean, that was probably the only option.
Well, that was Roxandich buying time, too, in the pocket, rolling out and getting away from the pressure. So 2nd and 6 now. The ball on the 48-yard line of Brunswick. And now they give it on the ground to their main player. And look at him turn on the jets to the outside, gets a first down, gets out of bounds. Good for a first down is Cooper Neal again.
Cooper Neal showing some speed.
As it gets it into Medina territory at the 39-yard line, and we're going to get a timeout on this Medina defense to kind of regroup. Again, you 50 seconds left. The last thing you want to do is give them that opportunity to score, go into the half, and try to have that ball back on the next possession.
Right, and you remember, I don't really want to bring it up, but last week it was 41-20. It was around there, and it was in the fourth quarter. And some unfortunate things happened for Medina last week. Some great plays by Menor, but you're right. You just can't give up momentum right before the half. It's big on either team. Even if Brunswick gets a field goal going to the locker room, this drive becomes a win for them. And then you get a chance to regroup. You get a chance to look at some video. You get a chance to put things on the board and go, all right, we've been trying this. It might not be working. We're going to go to this. And, that's the job of the offense and defensive coordinator, making those halftime adjustments.
See, Coach Laird just now talking to his defensive coordinator, making sure they got this stuff set on this play. 1st and 10 for the Blue Devils. Ball at the Medina 39. Mark Sandich back in the shotgun. He's going to keep it on a design draw. Medina keeps him in bounds, I think. Yes, they do. Keeps the clock running. He gets about 6 on the carry.
Still plenty of time. Brunswick has 1 timeout left. Going to conserve it. They're probably going to have to move the sticks on this, get out of bounds, or they will have to use that timeout.
Need 5 yards. 2nd and 5. Looking to fire it deep. He's got a man wide open again and just overthrows him somehow. Again, Cooper Neal just running ragged out there. Just blew by our defensive backs. It was wide open.
Absolutely imperative in this situation where you have 3rd and 5, 23 seconds left. You just can't let any receiver behind you. It's probably your number one thing right here is we got to have somebody that's just staying behind those receivers.
The ball got incidentally moved by a Medina player by accident. They got to get the ball reset here.
Did he move it back? Because that would be, that'd be a decent thing.
Well, the official actually put it back 2 yards. Now they get a set straight ball at the 34-yard line, 3rd and 5 for
Cooper Josephic showing blitz, and he's coming.
And that's when Cooper got in there and just blew that play up.
And he wasn't.
Joseph, a nice job.
Cooper wasn't disguising it. He wasn't, stepping up and going back and forth. He was coming. And the thing with Cooper Josephic is he is an absolute truck. He's a train, and great speed, extraordinary power, and just going to be hard to block when he has a head of steam coming like that.
So 4th and 5 at the 34-yard line. They need to get to the 29 of Medina. Back looking to throw, has protection, fires, and incomplete. Overthrows his intended receiver, Cooper Neal, as that one was a little strong.
Now with 16 seconds left, Medina's not going to knee on it. They're going to try to score here. I don't think you'll even see a run. I think Medina, with one timeout left on the board, will try to hit the sideline a couple times, move the stick, stop the clock, and work on their quick game.
Is that one of those where you fake the knee and pop up and throw one? Well, Brunswick, being well aware of that as well, has 2 safeties back at least about 20 yards off the ball.
I mean, and so Medina could chew up a good 20 yards right here if everybody plays off. And that's what we're going to
back, looking,
so
delayed blitz by the shadowing linebacker. He tucks it in, now pulls it back, still trying to talk to people, and just sprints towards the sideline, gets out of bounds the 45 with 6 seconds to go.
6 seconds. So you're looking at 2 more plays here. And if Medina runs sort of the same thing and is able to hit somebody on an out, and they can get up probably a good 10 yards, they can take a shot at the end zone.
Yeah, at the 43-yard line of Medina.
And Brunswick playing a good 12 yards off of everybody. So this is just a free play and out.
Can he get it away in time? This looks like it will be the last play of the half. Trying to buy time, gets it away, has a receiver, Wojak, open for the first down, but time will expire, and that'll send us to the half.
And Brunswick does the right thing there. They stay behind the receiver. So we have 42-14 at halftime. As both teams take to the locker room.
Yeah, a lot going on in this one. Great job, like you said. It's the Medina defense. The effort they put forth here in this first half has been really phenomenal. Not sitting back, not waiting, not playing soft. They've been aggressive. They've been hitting the holes and playing hard.
Right. You're seeing a defense now that it's like the field slope. They're all playing downhill, and the safeties are they're not even going to 10, 12 yards. They're daring Brunswick to pass the ball. They're applying pressure, and it's more of an old-school style defense right now where it's like, hey, we're going to get the chin strap tight, and we're coming forward. And if you run your screen game and you get past our rush, we're going to trust our defensive backs to make a tackle, and we're just going to keep things in order. So going to be interesting in the second half when you're looking at the deficit for Brunswick, what they come out and try to do.
Yeah, and how much do you adjust? Because that aggressiveness, we did pay for that on the Brunswick trick play, able to get a big play out of that one and score. So do you make adjustments there? And on the Brunswick side, what adjustments do you make? It seems like they finally started to get a little bit more better rhythm there in that second quarter offensively. And can they do a little more in the third to improve on that and try to close this gap?
Right, and that's something that we're going to see. And Medina's just got to keep scoring, though. Medina's got to keep putting points on the board. Danny Stoddard tonight is playing phenomenal. Not only is he accurate on the run, he's thrown across his body. And what I'm really impressed with tonight is that clock that's in his head. Mm-hmm. He gets the ball, he looks at his reads. Usually it's 3 reads. So you have 3 reads that you're looking at. If nothing's open and he can't dump the ball off, he is instantly taking off and running. And against that 3-man rush, he's picking up a lot of yards. And when all that starts clicking for a quarterback, it's really hard to stop.
Yeah, and they've done a good job of mixing in his the pass and the run with him, the designed runs, and his vision even then when he's carrying the football to, like you talked about, making those moves a step ahead of time. He sees the field ahead of time, and knows what he's going to do, and has really handled the ball there in the running game as well.
Right, absolutely, lights out. So
Yeah, so let's turn it down now. It's time to head down to the field and take in the sights and sounds of the Brunswick Blue Devil Marching Band, and we'll be followed by the Medina Musical Bees, so enjoy the halftime performances by both bands.
Competition production entitled Star-Crossed, featuring music from Romeo and Juliet by Tchaikovsky and Love Story by Taylor Swift. The band will feature 3 of the 4 movements of their competition show for us tonight. The first part of tonight's show will feature a flute duet performed by Olivia Slayton and Rachel Bryan, as well as color guard soloists Brooke Kramer, Scout Tibayan, and Emerson Pio. Immediately following part 1, the Marching Blue Devils will perform part 2 of their competition show with music from the Romeo and Juliet Suite No. 2, Opus 64 by Sergei Prokofiev, featuring trumpet soloist Sam Haskell. Please enjoy the first half of the Marching Blue Devils 2023 OMEA competition show, Star-Crossed. with music returning from Tchaikovsky's Romeo and Juliet. Please enjoy movement 4 of Star-Crossed. Both the Marching Blue Devils and Medina Musical Bees will be competing at their first OMEA Marching Band competition in Louisville. We are grateful to share the field tonight with the Medina High School Marching Band, and we would like to wish them the best of luck the rest of their football and marching season.
Great job there by the Brunswick Blue Devil Marching Band. Now we're waiting as they set up. The Medina Musical Bees will be heading out on the field. Again, your score here at the half, 42-14 in favor of Medina. We still have the performance of the Medina Musical Bees, and then we'll get the third quarter of action underway. But again, your score, 42-14 in favor of Medina. We'll be back once the Medina Musical Bees perform. 2 more moments as they set up. It's Parents' Night tonight. They honored all the band parents out on the fields prior to the game. Great moment to realize how large a contingent the Medina Marching Band is, and the great support of the parents that help those kids be involved with the program. Great job by those band parents out there tonight, setting things up and honored before the game. It was great to hear that. Great response by the crowd for them as they were honored before, as they got to stand out with their student at the Medina M during the beginning of the game. And now they are here in the crowd, excited to watch them perform. And we'll have that here in just a moment. They've some technical glitches here, as I can see, getting some cables run out. Nice to see we're not the only ones that we unroll a cable and it gets all knotted like spaghetti. They're having the same problem right now at the 50-yard line. But now here they are. Let's turn it down to the field and the Medina Musical Bees.
Musical Bees. Tonight, the Musical Bees are led onto the field by head field commander Hayden Slaw and assistant field commander Austin Perdue. Please put your hands together to these hard-working band members and welcome your Medina Musical Bees. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you 2 after 2, a classical cartoon musical round. To kick things off, we open with Raymond Scott's Powerhouse, a musical embodiment of mayhem, madness, and probably a malfunctioning assembly line or two. So strap on your rocket-powered sneakers and get ready to groove to the jazziest tune this side of Albuquerque. Let the madness begin. Sponsored by Acme. Marching Band 3000. If you ever wished for a marching band that's more reliable than your average marching band, well, look no further. Our Acme Marching Band 3000 is so reliable that weather forecasters use the band to predict the weather. If the Acme Marching Band cancels rehearsal, just one, because something catastrophic must be coming. And the best part, our Acme Marching Band 3000 comes with a 100% somewhat satisfied guarantee. So it's truly very modern major marching band.
Job put together by the Medina Musical Bees Marching Band. A great performance by also the Brunswick Blue Devil Marching Band. So we got graced by two good bands there, and the Swarm getting their refreshments at our concession stand, supporting our student council. And both of them tonight, as we mentioned before, Brunswick and Medina both in neon here tonight, both in the construction theme, as we are having a great first half action as Medina's up 42-14 in this one. Again, in the locker room, we kind of discussed that before. What do you really look to correct if you're Medina?
You know, Medina just has to stay aggressive, and I think, you know, you start to see a new identity showing up here tonight. You know, let's not just try to cover guys and play it safe. They're gambling tonight. They're, like we said at the end of the half, they're playing downhill. And I think if that identity, and it gets mixed with the identity where, you know, when you play a team that primarily passes, that's a good thing for Medina. So if that defense can get a rebirth tonight, they're playing great. I mean, individually and as a team, they're playing phenomenal. And you get that little bit of a rebirth, that's something that's going to carry them throughout the year. So I think Medina doesn't have much adjusting to do. Brunswick, unfortunately, they're going to be out of their game plan. When you're down this many scores, you have to do things a little bit different, and you're going to have to take some shots downfield, and you're going to have to push it a little bit. You're going to have your onside kick ready, your trick play, whatever it is, to try to get a couple scores to get this within 2.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. A lot can happen here. You go out there and stop them on this first drive, go down and score. If you're Medina, you stop Brunswick, go down and score. Now all of a sudden you're getting close to that 30-point clock run, which really shortens that game up for Brunswick if they want to get back in this.
Right, and on Brunswick's end, they just can't let that happen. If they want to stay in this game, this is the must drive. Whatever you have planned, whatever you're saving has to come out right here. And we've said it every week that the first drive of the half on offense or the second half on offense and defense, that's the one that you did all your planning for. You put all your resources together. What are we going to do to score here? And on the flip side, what are we going to do to stop them on this first drive?
Yeah, we'll see what Brunswick does. And like you said, it's always the toughest drive to defend because it's usually plays you've had scripted. There's some of your best plays that you can execute, and you go out and do them to put that drive together. So we'll see how quick this Medina defense can bring their best defense and pressure, this new look pressure that you've talked about.
I love it.
What they can do.
I love it. That's a great identity to have. Every guy playing downhill, Cooper Josephic, he hasn't been on his heels one time tonight. And he's showing blitz and going, and it's basically, hey, are you going to stop me?
Yeah.
And, Jeffrey Marshall with some of the edge rushing that he's put on tonight has been fantastic. And for Medina, big night here. Coming back, kind of a rebound game where you had the Menor thing last week, and we talked beforehand, you and I did, about what are you going to bring tonight? Are you going to come in and is it going to be the game where you're like, oh man, we didn't get it done last week, it had conference implications, or are you going to come in and play, a house of fire? And we're seeing that house of fire.
Yeah, we'll have to speaking of which, we'll have to get an update on that Cleveland Heights score. Because really, that's the team you need to have help you right now if you're Medina to want to have a chance to at least try to have a share of the conference title.
Right, and Cleveland Heights can get it done. I mean, it's not out there, and we'll be checking maybe check the phones here in a little bit.
Exactly, start looking for that score update. But right now, like you said, it's been a little back and forth, but this Medina offense clicking on all cylinders as it's been Stoddard either through the air or using his feet to keep this offense moving. Found a bevy of receivers here. He's really worked his way through a lot of his receivers here tonight, all stepping up, making big plays, from Knowles to Wojak to also Cameron Hathaway. We talked about him, and even Whitehill coming back and making a catch here later in this a tough one over the middle. You mentioned Cameron Hathaway, and I've seen it a couple times now where if your goal as a defense is to take out maybe a 1 and 2 receiver and the guys that are getting most of the throws, you can go ahead and do that, and then you have guys like Cameron Hathaway that step it up, and it's like, oh no, how do I cover this guy? Yeah.
And that list goes all the way down. So that receiving core, and when Stoddard's on like this, when he's got his timing down, he's got his accuracy down. We've seen him throw from all angles tonight. We've seen him jump and hurl a ball 20 yards for a strike. So he's got everything working tonight.
And not only that, punt the football a good 60, 70 yards as well.
Right. So he's doing it all, and it's fun to watch when everything's clicking like that. But we have been put in a situation here in Medina. It's a good one where we watch a quarterback light the field up, and to us, it just feels normal now.
Yeah, exactly. We've kind of settled into that groove between Aller and now Stoddard. It's just been that comfort zone. You kind of expect it.
Right. It's just the expectation. It's basically, you always called Penn State back in the day linebacker U. Medina has turned into quarterback high. So
with a minor in receivers?
Yeah, with a double major probably in receivers.
Exactly.
And, it's going to be exciting to see who's the next guy that steps up and does it. So,
yeah, great first half here by the Bees. We'll see. It's going to be the defense that'll be up first. See if they're ready for the challenge here to set the tone and see if Medina can continue the success they had here in the first half.
Here at the tonight, the Tom Fasco Classic, and when you have a great coach like Tom Fasco that spends so much time with kids over the years in football and track, always great. You can't do it without a supporting cast, and shout out to his wife Allison Fasco, daughters Kate Fasco Hill, Marissa Fasco Malloy, and Tara Fasco Collins. Shout out to them. Great supporting cast over those years.
Yeah, it was a great man to talk to all the time. Would always run into him in the hallway, and just always pleasant and just great to talk to, and great to see the game honored. And again, look at the great spin game being put on with the kicking game. Both sides, it's a solid hit. That is a hit coming out of nowhere there. Cooper Josefsik just hit him hard and put him down there inside the 30.
We're seeing a different style of football tonight, and I love it. I like it. This defense is stepping up right now. Special teams is stepping up. They've played phenomenal tonight.
So Brunswick will start on their own 28. And we'll see what adjustments they made here at the half. And right now, I think if I'm Brunswick, I'm finding a way to get the ball in the hands of number 2, Cooper Neal, who really was able to break some big plays for them. Although right now it doesn't look like he's even in. Oh, there he is. He's up in the bottom part of your screen in the slot.
In the 2 receiver spot. And that's the spot where you get the screens. And if you could get him in open space, he's definitely a weapon.
Mark Sandich waiting to take the snap. And right there, he was looking at him. Fired it out and just hit right away. Reading that play all the way, number 8, Talon Halvey.
Talon Halvey laying a big hit, and it's that speed that Talon Halvey has where he can be on a receiver in no time. And that ball just kind of hung up a little bit, got a little bit, pretty far to the sideline. And
was able to get 3 on the play, brings up a 2nd and 7. Ball on the 31-yard line of Brunswick. This time they bring Neal in motion, and so 2 plays in a row, they go right to Neal and try to get something going, and he leans forward and should have the first down at the 39 of Brunswick.
Cooper Neal earning everything he gets tonight, and that was even the play before that, when that ball's hanging up like that to get 3 yards, that's a very tough catch to make because you're going to get hit. It's a free shot.
So let's see if they go to Neal yet again. He's in that slot at the bottom of your screen. They're giving him a cushion. Oh, he was trying to do, what a play. The Bees bring pressure. We'll see if we get a hold. But what I liked watching there is Jeffrey Marshall was a good 5 yards off Neal. Neal was trying to do a stop and go, and Marshall didn't give ground, so Neal ran right into him, and he had nowhere to go. But the pressure by that time was in the backfield, and
so
Jeff Sandich was looking for somewhere to go. So the pressure you talked about, Nick, getting through there, forcing the hold.
And it's what it's doing. You look at the 2 sides of the football, both offenses, and you look at both quarterbacks, and you have one quarterback that has his timing down, and another quarterback, his timing is there, but it's just a little bit off with the pressure. And the ball's going to have to come out a lot quicker, and he's going to have to take some chances here.
So
in lieu of the scoreboard.
1st and 20, ball on the Brunswick 29. They fire it right out in the flat, trying to get it to Neal, and quickly closing in and making the tackle. Camden Sokolowski in there to make the stop, as was Talon Halvey. Ball gets placed up to the 33-yard line.
Have 9:58 and counting here in the 3rd quarter, 42-14.
2nd and 16 for the Blue Devils now.
I love the way these linebackers keep playing downhill. 4-man front.
They run the little counter. That was number 6, Landon Case, on the carry.
Nice hit by Braden Schmiegel.
I think Medina will give up those short yard runs and leaving a 3rd and long here as the ball's at the 35-yard line of Brunswick. Gained a 2 on the carry, but now brings up a 3rd and 14.
So we'll see if Medina stays aggressive here on 3rd and 14, or if this is one that drop a little help in the coverage.
See if they bring a linebacker on the blitz. Nope, they bring him in coverage. That was just a great job. You watch that time, John Estes, number 32, was just basically shadowing the quarterback. And once he went, we have a late flag. Hopefully that's not against Medina, because that could give him a 1st down. What are we going to get here?
Sideline warning first of the game, so no penalty.
Thank goodness. I was hoping it wasn't going to be a unsportsmanlike or anything that would have given him a 1st down. Knowles marches out now on the 4th and 13 from their own 36.
Medina again bringing pressure. They have no return set up, and they haven't had a return set up all game.
Oh, they got it that time. They got in for the block. Trying to scoop it. He does. Can he stay on his feet? Just misses getting to the end zone as he takes it to the 1. Blocked by Talon Halvey. Sokolowski able to scoop it up and gets taken out at the 1-yard line.
I love it. Medina putting pressure on that punt all night long. It's something they saw on film, not even setting up a return.
Watch him get the arm extended here on this one. Just gets that left arm out there and gets a great block. And then Sokolowski trying to pick it up. Gets it and then stretches, but can't quite get it there.
You know, Sokolowski, an offensive player for much of his life, and you know, he's playing defense, so when he sees the goal line, he's like, there's no way I'm falling on this thing. I'm scooping and scoring. And it's like you're in one of those dreams where you're trying to move your arms and you can't, and the ball's bouncing around, and he makes a great effort to get in the end zone and just comes up just a tiny bit short.
So Medina goes to the power backfield here. Well, different look in that power backfield. You got Whitehill leading the way here. And they're going to look to throw. Back of the end zone. Oh, he slipped and fell. He had him in the back of the end zone.
He had both receivers open.
That time it was number 15 of the Bees, Nathan Angus, that was open, but just lost his footing.
And then he also had Cooper Josephic was open on that, coming out of the backfield.
One of the few incompletions, as you and I were discussing, that you have seen Stoddard throw here tonight. Now they're going with the true as Angus goes out. They're bringing a little bigger set into that big backfield.
So bringing out the old school Maryland eye here.
We get a timeout by the coach. Yeah, something was not set up right.
Coach Laird didn't like what he saw. Calmly takes a timeout to explain things to the team.
So what do you do there? You basically look like you had a chance to score, but he obviously saw something.
I'm not sure. Something must have just been a little bit off, and you know, the coach pays attention to detail. And
he was not happy about it, that's for sure.
So we see.
I mean, I can see usually a coach will do that if you think you're going to have a penalty.
Right, right. Maybe
something's going to happen.
Maybe you have somebody lined up wrong.
Yeah.
But he's down there explaining it to the other coaches. I'm not sure exactly what he's saying. And now we're in the true power eye. Another old school formation here. Love to see the wishbone at some point.
Well, you do have Josefsik a little offset here. And it's a little counter right to Josefsik to take it in. So the 1-yard run by Cooper Josefsik.
And keep that in mind, the way Cooper Josefsik runs, because when we get to playoff time and you're going up against a team maybe that you know you could mix up that run. It's not something you want to show a lot now, but that's something you have in your package where you can really chew clock and pound the ball down the field.
Yeah, there's something there. I see Coach Laird even getting in Stoddard's ear right there as they come off. Maybe a miscommunication on the play call as the snap is down, the kick is up and good. And we have a late flag come in. So let's wait a minute and see what the flag is. Are we going to have to go for another 2-point conversion from 19 yards
Personal
out?
foul on Medina.
Before or after the kick is the key. They're waving it off.
So the back judge signaled personal foul. So something must have.
Yeah, let's see here. This is the touchdown. See a little just quick give there and just powering his way in, not to be denied, and the Bees helping to give a little push from behind.
I love it.
Takes it in.
That's the old G trap where you fake the sweep, the guard pulls, you drop it to the power back or fullback. Now, that was a notorious play by Wadsworth over the years. That's a play that they would run in their base package a lot, and works perfectly for the Bees, and now they're up 49-14.
Which now brings in the running clock.
So once the running clock starts, we'll get official word here of exactly when it stops, but for most things, it's just going to keep rolling.
Usually an injury, a timeout, and I think the incompletes can still go. So yeah, I think that's about the only two things. I used to have a little sheet that I kept over here, but it's not there anymore. And again, he had that ball sideways on the tee and takes a hop up nicely here for the return game. Someone tripped him up there. Going down on the return was number 21, Koyanisa.
Now everything clicking for the Bees. The special teams have made a great improvement. They're running down the field like they're on a mission. The defense is playing downhill. They're playing phenomenal. They're finishing tackles. There's been more hits in this game that you'll see on a Saturday watching college football. Medina has been hungry, and now we have a bunch of new jerseys out here, Jared, as Medina makes a large substitution.
And Brunswick does as well, a new quarterback in the game. And back and looking to throw on his first one, and instead he's going to tuck and run. This is number 16, Sean Barnett of the Blue Devils, getting the carry. Takes it ahead for about 4. Bring up a 2nd and 6.
So with the running clock, we're at 6:29 here in the third quarter.
Now some of the
Brunswick
defense up front looks back to the starters. Trying to get pressure, and they do, and he's going to go down. Someone reached in with the arm there, and I thought it was 39 and 95, I think we're both in there.
Logan Peters.
And then also 95, Caden Ferguson, I think we're both in.
Caden Ferguson on both those plays doing a nice job coming off the edge. So special teams a big one today, where you have Brunswick with the fumble. You have the blocked punt.
Now the ball at the 34, 3rd and 9 for Brunswick. They're going to get a timeout. Brunswick, because they did not like the offensive set they had here.
And sometimes you get, when you have some other guys come in, maybe a different quarterback late in the game, and you call a play that maybe that quarterback didn't have a whole lot of reps at. Something was special for this week.
Especially on a 3rd and 9. Yeah.
Right, and you have to kind of check yourself and go, wait a minute here. And you have your coaches on the headset reminding you. So Brunswick's next mission here is to stop the running clock. If they can get down here and score, that'll slow the game up a little bit.
And that's something that, if you're Medina, we really don't have that running game other than Stoddard on his own to kind of work that clock.
Right, and I would think that that's something that's going to come in later in the season as you see more success here with that running game. But it's not something you want to show a whole lot of.
And we have seen that in playoff years in the past for this Medina Beast program. Good blitz coming in. Oh, just missed getting a hold of him. Rolling out, buying time, and gets picked off. Talon Holvey's there to pick it. And that's one he just never saw him. And Holvey's got
that speed.
And he's going to take it to the house. Talon Holvey takes it in, and we're going to get late flags for unnecessary roughness on Brunswick. As Brunswick took a cheap shot late in that one.
The shot taken at Cooper Estes there.
Yeah,
all the laundry on the field.
Rolled him up from behind. It was not a pretty play. Thankfully, the young man's okay.
So Talon Holvey, on that play, Cooper Neal was open, and Talon Holvey was sitting maybe 6 yards in front of him, and that ball just wasn't thrown high enough.
Yeah, so the penalty being forced on the kickoff is.
When Holvey pulls it in, I mean, that breakaway speed is.
Well, he shook some tackles too.
Right, something else. I mean, you love having, as a defensive coordinator, your favorite thing is a defensive touchdown. But I almost had a touchdown on special teams as well. So clock running right now during the extra point. Down to, just got word it is a new rule this year that it runs during extra point. We're down to about 4 minutes.
And the extra point's good. What an interception. Just got pressure on the quarterback, made him roll out, never saw him, as you're going to see here on the replay. With great pressure coming in, just missed him there, and as they're chasing him down, he just never sees Holvey sitting back there. And then just watch the return here. And the rest of his defensive teammates love this. They get to turn into blockers here, and just cuts it back, breaks 2 tackles there, and then turns on the Jets. And again, this Medina speed can be deadly in terms of making you pay when you make a mistake on them.
Talon Holvey, what a fun player to watch. If you watch him in the secondary, the things he does as a football player, excellent football player, and just a lot of big hits tonight, and he caps it off right there with the pick 6. And this is a time for Medina, Jared, where you're going into you have next week you got to look at, you have the week after, and you really don't want any of your guys getting banged up, twisting an ankle, something like that. So the mission now is to make sure that you get through the fourth quarter healthy, you have all your guys ready to go, and build off of all the great things you did tonight.
Absolutely, and I don't know, do you keep them in until at least the end of the quarter here?
I'm not sure I would after that flag. I think that would be something that I would
agree with you
consider making some wholesale changes here. Through the uprights, maybe. All right, we have a touchback, a short kick due to the 15-yard penalty, moved Medina up and puts it in the end zone, and looks like Brunswick will start at the 25-yard line. Excuse me, 20-yard line. So sitting at 56-14 right now.
I was trying to see if I can find the score up in Menor.
Going to leave Jeffrey Marshall's back out there, Cooper Josephic's back out there. So some changes, but keeping some of the starters in. Taking a shot deep, and the ball is brought in to number 19, Hayden Swarm.
What a huge catch there by Swarm.
Swarm was down here on an island. Looks like with Aiden Ruiz on the coverage.
Well, if I'm seeing this correctly here, I gotta go this way. Menor just kicked a field goal. It is 6-6 in the fourth quarter right now between Menor and Cleveland Heights.
Do they have a time on the game, or?
I do not have a time at this point.
Wow, 6-6, Menor, Cleveland Heights. That makes things very interesting.
And then in the meantime, here's Neal on the carry. Good job by Medina to stop that. And Cooper Josefsik in there to stop that.
So I'm going to see if I could also find a time on that game, see what part of
I was
the...
trying to find, usually you can find a stream of it, but I could not find that. Yeah, I did find it. Oh, I got 10 minutes to go here is what I just saw.
A lot of game left.
Neal in motion again, does not get it. Oh, they're going to try to swing it out. Left side, wide open receiver, overthrew his intended target. Looking for John Crawford the fourth, and just overthrew his receiver, who would have had 6 points. And when you miss a ball, you got to go chase it. So he went and chased it, and then he'll get ready for the next down. 3rd and 10 from the Medina 45 for Brunswick.
That's that little spot, and I'm not sure exactly what coverage you're in, but usually if you're in cover 2, that safety has to get over. You have to hold that receiver up at the line, force them an inside release, so it's not that spot's not so open.
So now a 3rd and 10. Barnett looks over. Looks right, sees nothing, feels the pressure, rolls left, and he's going to go down.
Was sandwiched by two
Loss
defenders.
of 2. I think I thought 32 and 56.
Cliff Nichols in on the tackle, 56.
Yeah, and I think 32 as well. John Estes.
Cliff Nicholson coming off the field.
So Brunswick, you got to go for it here, I'd imagine. If anything, you got to get that score to try to work this game back down to getting the clock stopped in the final 40 seconds here in this 3rd quarter. 4th and 12 for Brunswick.
This is why you try to get the ball out quick, try to make something happen.
Zone coverage, and they get a man deep, and he just overthrew his intended receiver again. Stepped into that ball as he went forward, was close to going over the line of scrimmage, and the Bees hold.
So nice defense by the Bees. Ball be turned over here with 26 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
It might not even, I'll change of possession. It'll be the one time you stop the clock.
So we'll see if Stoddard comes out or if we'll have somebody else at the QB spot.
Ball at the 47-yard line of Medina.
Chris DePasquale comes out as the QB.
I love it when the quarterback's going to come in and throw one right away.
And it's one of those things where if you make a wholesale change and your offense is to throw 90% of the time, it's very difficult to make the wholesale change and put in that special run game you have and wear a clock. So, but with the running clock, it really doesn't matter. If it's an incomplete, the clock's going to keep going. But that is the change of the quarter.
I like that. I saw DePasquale and Brian Wuchter going over there and have a conversation, maybe about the pass route and where he was looking to throw that football.
And DePasquale, he'll change arm angles too. We'll see that he'll drop down to the Kozar a little bit and sling it sidearm to fit it through defenders.
Let's make sure we take a second and thank our camera operators tonight, Josh Nass and Connor Donnelly, as well as Matt Tomek doing everything back in the studio from replay to switching and everything else we've seen here tonight. Good job by our crew here tonight to bring all the action. And Nick, always a pleasure to call a game with you here. I'm glad everyone that's tuned in on our YouTube and Facebook feed as well as Medina TV. We appreciate you watching.
All right, so DePasquale at the helm with 5 wide. has a check down open, but he wants to go deep down the middle.
Man completes that ball. Number
Sidney
17.
Lloyd.
Yeah, Sidney Lloyd. Nice job.
Little pitch and catch right there.
The Bees quickly lining up, trying to go a little quick here. A little tempo when you got a lead here. Ball handed off to number 80.
Hayden Shenevy.
Hayden takes it ahead for, let's see where they spot it. Looks like it's at the 17-yard line. Bring up a 2nd and 7 for the Bees.
DePasquale, 5 wide again.
DePasquale looking, throws that sidearm delivery like you talked about. Had a man at the goal line, but threw it just a little bit behind him, his intended receiver, Braylon Train.
DePasquale looking downfield. He doesn't want to check down. He wants to put that ball in the end zone. If you're playing behind a certain guy and you don't get a whole lot of time, when you come in here, this is your time. I mean, people see running clock 56-14, but for the guys down on the field, it's 0-0, and they're down there competing right now.
They have him listed as 6 foot. He looks like he's a little taller than 6 foot to me as he fires it across the middle, and it's going to be picked off. Again, that's a difference in your receivers. That's going to be picked off. The good news is it's right at the 1 yard line.
Right. Didn't look like the momentum slid him in. It looked like he dropped a knee right there at the half-foot line.
So the Bees will have a chance defensively to make an effort here. But again, that's one as a quarterback, lead him a little more. You get a little more lead on this throw, and you probably have 6. Again, just a little bit behind him, and that's why you see the interception there. You lead that receiver, and you've got 6.
That's the kind of thing that comes with reps, and
exactly.
When you get live reps and a different speed of the game.
But at least if it's going to happen, you at least pin Brunswick back deep here and make it a tough. This is where your defense, a lot of new guys in, they want to make an impression. This is their chance to do it, to step up and make a stop in that end zone.
They're excited out there. Aiden Knowles, Roland Jackson.
And if you're Brunswick, you don't want to have a hold or anything happen back there. You don't want to give up that safety.
Ray Coleman on the front.
Snap it back, looking to throw. Taking a deep shot from the end zone. How often do you see that? And love the textbook defense there. That was a nice job. Colin Grice back there in coverage. Just waited, read the receiver's eyes, and brought the hand up through the arms as the ball came in.
I mean, that was a heck of a throw.
From your own end zone. Usually you look to get that breathing room.
Right, and Brunswick right now with nothing to lose attitude, and they're going to come out and take their shots. Why not?
See if we dial up the pressure here in this instance. Oh, they thought they were going to direct snap that. A false offside by the Medina defense is going to give Brunswick the breathing room they need.
Number 92, 5 yards. Stay down.
Boy, I thought they were going to direct snap that to Cooper Neal that time. Do you see him reach back for it?
Right, yeah. and so Cooper Neal right here, explosive. This is the kind of thing where if he can get a little head of steam.
So 8:50 and counting here. It'll be a 2nd and 5 now with the ball placed at the 6 yard line. Design QB draw and a nice hole up the middle, and still continuing to shake tackles before being brought down by a swarm of Bees. Gets it up to about the 21 yard line, 1st down for Brunswick.
Another wholesale change here is a whole new group of Bees come on, and the key word on that call you had there, Jared, is swarm of Bees. And when you have the younger guys in, that is the mentality you want to have. 11 guys to the ball, you can't be wrong when you go 11 guys to the ball.
So now 1st and 10, ball at the 21 yard line of Brunswick.
So, Jared, a swarm of Bees fits.
So offsides defense, who they call this one on this time? It was a
They're lining up just over the ball. So in the excitement, lining just a hair over the ball.
97, yeah, so the interior line, so the line judge, yeah, and that's your nose guard who shouldn't, or your defensive end, or tackle just off the nose guard, I should say.
7:30 in running.
Good closeout speed and tackle there after the reception. That was 47 of the Bees.
47.
Nunn.
Great closing speed by Johnny Nunn. So, Jared, before you said swarm of bees, if you had a group of Blue Devils getting to the ball, what's the plural for Blue Devils?
That's a great
I
question.
mean, if they were the Wolves, it would be a pack of wolves.
Well, since you're already calling them Blue Devils, isn't already the plural?
It would be Blue Devil, but there's got to be some sort of, we'll figure it out.
And we'll figure out the pressure coming in and getting the sack here from Medina. And immediately gets the sack, helps the guy back up. There you go.
Great sportsmanship there. Look at number 54 of the Bees.
I don't have a 54. Well, there's one we don't have in the playbook, so we'll offer our apologies right now. So a 3rd and 11 now for Brunswick. Ball at the 20-yard line of Brunswick. Boy, that was just a slow snap to come up there.
Snap. Got back to, like you said, a little bit slow. It disrupts the timing, and
Medina able to blow that play up. It brings up a 4th down and I would assume a punting situation.
number 17, Sidney Lloyd, back deep.
We're down to 5:40 and counting.
Sidney Lloyd thinking 6 here. Medina going to have the return set up.
Yeah, not going after this block. They got to run the 11th guy in here for Brunswick.
Usually when you run the block all game, you know you're going to get one.
Delay
It's
game.
something
Oh,
you
they
saw
got
on
it
film.
away just in time.
That's going to be unreturnable.
And it'll be out of bounds at the 49-yard line where the Bees take over 1st and 10.
So D. Pasquale and company have half a field to drive. They got it down to, the interception was at the goal line last time. Sit at 5:10 with the running clock, which will start here as the ball snapped.
Yep. It stops on the change of possession. And we'll go again.
Dinah has a running back in the backfield. Have not
Now they
picked up the
whistle it
number
in.
yet.
Clock begins to run. There's the handoff, a little stiff arm trying to shake a tackle, gets wrapped up and brought down. As that was number 80, Hayden Chenevy on the carry.
Chenevy fighting ahead to pick up 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards.
Second and 8. Ball at the 48-yard line of Brunswick.
Twin receivers on both sides. Chenevy in the backfield.
Keep Pasquale looks. Now we'll take the snap. The give. Dancing through the hole before being wrapped up. Again, that was Chenevy
Have a flag on the play.
coming from the backfield. Oh, nice moves there by the official. Did you see that to pick the ball up? Yeah.
Holding offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty.
That was more of a hacky sack move.
That was something
remember the
there.
old hacky sack?
I'm gonna lay the ball down and see if he can do that 2 times in a row.
He's smiling.
That's how you make a game fun, when it's a little bit of a blowout there. Pasquale rolling, now fires last second. Complete. Nice job to hang on to that. See, the reception just short of the 1st down. It will bring up a 3rd and a very manageable about 2.
Nice job by DePasquale to elude the pressure and get the ball out quickly.
And even for Lloyd to come back to the ball, like they had Lloyd came back and grabbed that.
Right, and you see some of these younger receivers that are going to be playing in the future. Here's DePasquale scrambling.
That was nice. The eye contact, you could see it happen.
Braylon Schramm with the reception.
Schramm and him saw each other, and Schramm just kept coming back to the ball and took the route where only DePasquale could put the ball where only he could catch it.
And DePasquale is slinging this football around the field tonight, eluding pressure and getting rid of it, putting the ball on the money.
Back on the ground.
Chenevy runs into a truck.
But not before he gets 4.
Number 10, Elijah Clement of Brunswick. Nice run by Chenevy. And he runs right out to the 2 receiver spot, bottom of the screen.
Nice toss over the middle, just floated that a little light. 2 receivers in the area, so.
Yeah, when that happens, somebody ran the wrong route. You never want to have 2 receivers in the same area. But nice touch that time by DePasquale.
Ball now at the 27-yard line, 3rd and 6.
You have 2 receivers open in the same place, you throw it between them.
He thought about running, instead just tucks, runs, and see where they mark it. Oh, late flag. I think this verbal is why you saw this flag happen.
So the refs are talking about it here.
See which way it goes, though, because you saw DePasquale kind of look and say, wait a minute.
Dead ball. Unsportsmanlike. Defense, number 84. Half the distance will result in a first down.
You have 1:10 left on the clock. We're almost a kneel away here. Not quite there yet.
Yeah, I don't think your coach is out. Unless something really breaks down, you're not out to get the touchdown here.
Right. Looks like they're getting in the victory formation.
Yeah, they are.
It's always a tough one when you have a score like this. You want your guys to play. You want them to do well. The guys that haven't seen much of the field on Friday night, give them some experience. But you also want to keep it where you're doing the right thing.
And that should have been the last play of the game, and they're going to head off. We'll try to update here. It looks like the update I'm getting from our Facebook friends is Cleveland Heights has the ball on the Mentor 21-yard line, 4th down with a minute left in the game.
And same score, 6-6. So very interesting in the Cleveland Heights Mentor game right now.
Now, my update I have here, Cleveland Heights just turned it over on downs. Mentor has the ball on their own 17-yard line with a minute to go in the game. So they're knotted up at 6-6.
Might have an overtime game there.
So we'll see what happens.
So we're hoping for overtime.
So a chance to get back in it, and Medina gets back in the win column here in the conference. A great statement game, like you said, a good job defensively to step up and do a good job. And a good win here for our team here, coming away victorious. A great win, 56-14, your final score here. And just a great effort all around. I mean, this is one that they're going to have a good time with game films tomorrow. Enjoying watching this one back.
That was a wonderful game, Jared. I mean, you know, we talked beforehand and we kept saying, you know, what team's going to come out here? What are we going to see out of Medina? And I am thoroughly impressed because the defense this week, the special teams this week, stepped it up. The offense they're still rolling. They're doing what they do. They're putting points on the board. Danny Stoddard and those receivers in that line, phenomenal job this week, as always. The defense this week answered the call. They stepped it up. They played downhill. And there was, this week, every tackle was finished. There was some major hits from both sides. And the special teams also. Yeah. So when you look at, you need 3 teams to be playing, you know, at top level by the time you get to those playoffs. And the step up of the defense and special teams this week was just outstanding.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more on that. That was just a great effort. And when your offense clicks on all cylinders, like it did tonight, that makes those defensive plays and special teams plays even bigger. And you can see by the result of the score here, as it was 56-14 as the final.
Right. If Medina continues to play like this and continues to improve, just a little bit each week, they're going to be, really hard to beat in the playoffs. When all three teams are working like that and you're forcing turnovers, it's going to be very difficult for teams to match up with Medina.
And I wasn't turning away from you. I was just watching as we broke from singing the alma mater. Brunswick had positioned themselves right in the center of the field, and we ran by them. I was just making sure, as chippy as things got late, that something didn't happen there. But Medina swung wide enough to get away from it, and now they're going to huddle down at their end and have their talk.
Right, and you have both teams out there on the field now, and I'm sure the coaches from Brunswick are talking about how they need to improve and they need to keep things going. And Medina, I'm sure it is, the message is you really answered the call this week, guys. Coaching staff has to be so proud of this team right now, the way they played.
Yeah, so a great effort by the Bees, coming away victorious, 56-14. Just looking, I saw an update coming across there. Well, somehow Menor has gotten the ball into Cleveland Heights territory with just under a minute left at the 44-yard line, so we'll see how that transpires. Of course, everyone can check that out. But again, our final here tonight, Medina 56, Brunswick 14. For Nick Kaplak and the rest of our crew, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for the next game here on Medina TV.
Blitz from the corner. Knowles, nice job to find him on the slant. Knowles still on his feet and in for the score.
Overty to the right here.
Wojak gets to the corner and in.